Hello social media. Okay, so before I start this video, I just want to apologise for the frequency that I've been posting these videos at. It wasn't my intention to post this frequency. I wanted to be a lot more frequent for you guys, at least something every few days, if not once a week. However, it's been really hectic since Christmas. Christmas has been a really busy period at work, and just Christmas in general, as I'm sure it has been for you guys. Also want to apologise. I know if you've been hitting me up on the messages about the Sean Anthony Blackwood Chris Hughes training video. I showed you a sneak preview before. It is coming. We just recorded so many hours of video that day that to edit it down into a 20-minute segment is taking time to be selected, really. So as soon as that's ready, that'll be there for you guys, I promise. I know there's a few other message videos that I've recorded already. I have mentioned to some of you in the messages before they're coming. I know you've been waiting for those as well. We have had a problem with some sound on those videos. There was a low frequency hum coming from a halogen light, and it's got some background interference on the sound, so we are trying to clear that up and tidy that up for you guys, and those videos will be posted as soon as possible. So in the meantime, I just want to do a quick vlog update for you guys with the Salvation products and where I am sort of with things. And also want to discuss two things that have come up recently in messages. So the first thing then is Salvation. As you guys know, I was on the Salvation Lemon Lime Sour. I still think it's a good product. It doesn't taste bad by any means, but I have been consuming this product a few times per day, and it has been getting a bit repetitive. So I have decided to purchase another one, and I've got the raspberry blue flavour. Sorry, blue. If blue is a flavour, but anyway. So yeah, they're exactly the same in terms of nutrition information. There's two different flavours. I like to alternate between the both of them. Since I've been taking the Salvation, I have been tied up my diet. I'm not on a major calorie deficit. I have done a little bit of cardio and mostly a post-Christmas tidy. And you know, in the last 4 weeks, so just since about 2 days after Christmas to now, I've lost about 4 kilos so far. Now the arm measurements, the chest measurements, and the thigh measurements, they all seem to be maintained. You know, we're talking like a 1/8 of an inch discrepancy here. So the arm's still over 18. Just over 18. Thighs are looking good, chest looking good. Slight, maybe 1/8 an inch decrease on some measurements. But so far, it seems the 4 kilos must have been mostly water and fat, and everything else has seemed to have held its size. So you know, it's early days to say was it the BCA it's keeping me retain all this muscle, or would I have retained it anyway? Because I'm not on a heavy calorie deficit, but you know, everyone puts on a lot of bloat and crap weight over Christmas. So you know, it could have been an initial loss of water and fat from the Christmas binging. So I'll give you another 4 weeks, so that'll give it probably 8 weeks in total, and I'll give you another report on the vlogs or the vlogs, depending on how you pronounce it. But so yeah, so far so good. Happy with these products. So that brings me back to the video, and the main topic of the video. What I want to talk about, and that is two things that have come up in messages. So far, because it's been really hectic the last couple of weeks, I haven't really been answering my messages much, and I've kind of seen a trend on one topic. With bicep specialisation. I don't know if it's this time of year, I don't know if I just a coincidence, but in the last 2 weeks I've had about 5 messages on bicep specialisation alone. Now, just to put things in context, out of the 33,000 Facebook likes, I get something like about 40 messages a week. So it's really hard to get back to every message as soon as it gets asked. Sometimes it can take me a week, 2 weeks to get back to a message. Unfortunately, I'm aware that sometimes I'll get back into a message thread and so many messages will come in that the correspondence gets lost and sometimes it's hard to go back and pick up threads and stuff. And you know, if you haven't heard from me from a while and you've asked a question, or we're halfway through something, you know, by all means, just resend the message again, or just drop me another note. I apologise for that. I just get so many messages, and like yourselves, you know, I'm relatively busy with work and the gym, etc. So, but anyway, I'm digressing. So the point I wanted to make was bicep training, bicep specialisation, and I've had a lot of questions about bicep specialisation from a lot of newbies, a lot of new starters. You know, I don't know if there's a trend just after Christmas, everyone wants to go to the gym and get big biceps, or if it's just new starters that have carried on from last year into this new year, and they've decided for their New Year resolutions they want to get bigger biceps. I don't know, but I've had about 5 messages with arm specialisation routines sent to me, with requests about arm training, biceps specifically. Triceps don't seem to be as popular. I don't know why the triceps don't seem to be as popular, but mostly focusing around the biceps, and you know, how can I get them bigger as fast as possible. And the trend seems to be that these people sending these messages have been training for like a year, maybe 2 years tops. So what I want to say on this subject is the common trend is a lot of you guys seem to be focused on the biceps. You want bigger arms, but you're neglecting the triceps. Now, anybody who's been lifting for more than 2 or 3 years will tell you the majority of the arm mass is in these bad boys here, the triceps. The triceps make up you know, a massive percentage of the arm. There's 3 muscles in the triceps compared to 2 in the biceps. So already, if you look at that ratio, there's 60% of the heads of all the arm muscles are in the triceps, and only 40% of the biceps. So if you want big arms, my first bit of advice is obviously focus on the triceps as well as the biceps. Now, I don't really want to give you guys any specific arm specialisation routines, but I just want to pose a few. I just want to put some points over to you guys really in terms of arm training, because we've all been there in our initial years, and we all wanted our big chest and big arms and stuff. And likewise myself, I filled my fair share of logbooks up with arm specialisation routines for the magazines and stuff, and you know, I've been there and I've tried them, and so I want to give you guys some advice, and that is this: the body is not stupid, the body is smart. The body, through homeostasis, wants to maintain itself at all costs. It wants to maintain, it doesn't like change. So the body is not very likely to grow itself disproportionately bigger in one area than any other. So if you want big biceps, just train the biceps and neglecting everything else is not going to get you your goal that much quicker, unless you've got some very, very good genetics, or you want some anabolic steroids. And even then, you know, you still have to focus like hell on those muscles to make them grow disproportionately to the rest of your body. The body's very, very clever. So my advice to you guys is this: if you want to put an inch on your arms, focus on putting mass on the whole of your body, the whole frame of your body. Especially in the first couple of years. If some of you guys have been training for 1 or 2 years, you need to be focused on the squats, deadlifts, bench press, military press, lat pull downs, wide grip chins, maybe some T-bar rows. And then yes, after you've done all those, maybe you can throw in some barbell curls. But you need to be focused on the main core basics. And I put it to you this: if you can put 15 to 20 pounds of muscle over your entire frame, that will equate to about 1 inch on your arms. And you're probably going to get that 1 inch a lot quicker focusing on the whole body and working all your power and core muscles than you are just focusing on barbell curls and dumbbell curls until you're blue in the face. There's no way that you can get to a 300-pound bench press, a 400-pound squat, and a 500-pound deadlift and still have small arms. You can't do it. Even though there's no direct barbell curls involved, I would guess that if you're deadlifting 500 pounds off the floor, squatting 400 pounds, and you're bench pressing 300 pounds, you are going to have a good size arm. So my advice would be, especially in the first couple of years, focus on the whole body, don't do any arm specialisation routines this early on. I mean, it's too early to specialise in the first couple of years anyway. You haven't got a good base. You don't want a muscle that's out of proportion to everything else. You want to be aesthetically pleasing. You want to be balanced. You want to be injury free. You don't want one muscle to be outrageously overdeveloped while your calves, your thighs, maybe even your triceps are underdeveloped. So for your own sake, in terms of look, feel, posture, injury prevention, it's in your best interest to work your whole body as a whole. And if you work your whole body as a whole and get bigger and stronger over all the core lifts, even if you don't think some of these big core lifts are stimulating these small little individual muscles, they are. Some lifts like the deadlift stimulate about 90% of your body. Bench pressing, there's a lot of, even though you try to minimise the bench press in terms of the anterior deltoid and the tricep involvement, there's still a lot of tricep involvement from doing bench presses. You get heavy benching and you build up to 300 pounds, which is about 140 kilos, there's no way you're going to have small arms. There's no way you're going to have small triceps. So my focus would be, if I've just started training for the first couple of years, maybe even up to 3 years, my advice would be just focus on the main core lifts. Try and gain 15 to 20 pounds of lean mass on your frame, and once you put on 15 to 20 pounds of lean mass, you will probably find that you've put 1 inch on your arms. Anybody who's just starting out in the first couple of years, I can't see why you can't put at least 1 pound of solid muscle on per month. So in 15 months, you could have 1 inch on your arms. I know it seems like a long time, but trust me, bodybuilding is it's a journey. It's not a sprint, it's a journey. And you're going to be doing this for a long period of time. Everybody at the start is always crazy about getting the fastest results possible. And if I could go back again, I would do what I'm telling you guys now. Because when you first start out, you want to do everything you possibly can to get any shortcut, to get any bit of mass you possibly can, especially in the primary areas, on the chest, the biceps. But the reality is, you'll spend 2, 3 or 4 years finding out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and once you've eliminated all that doesn't work for you, you'll find yourself going back pretty much to the basics, or variations of the basics that I've just said to you. So I'm telling you guys now, right now, start off with the basics now. Forget all these fancy routines in the magazines with, put a ½ inch on your arms in a day, or 6 weeks, or whatever the crap it is, and just focus on putting overall body mass, eating good quality food, and getting lots of sleep. Because this is the other thing, a lot of you guys ask me to look at your training plans, but then you never mention about your sleeping patterns. You never mention about your nutrition. I have to ask you about these things, So you come to me and say, look, is this a good arm routine? My first response is going to be, potentially, depending on how advanced you are, how long you've been training, how big you are elsewhere in terms of other body parts, what's your weight, your age, are you getting enough sleep, are you getting enough nutrition? If you're not getting sleep and nutrition, you cannot build muscle no matter how much you break it down anyway. You need to break the muscle down with the stimulus, you then need to consume the nutrition, which is the building blocks to build the muscle back up, and then you need to sleep. Muscle repairs while you're sleeping. So if you're only getting 2 hours of sleep per night and you're eating, 1 Big Mac a day, it doesn't matter how much arm training you're doing, you're not going to achieve your goal. So my advice to you is, just to summarise, go to the heavy basics: bench, squat, deadlift, military press, some T-bar rowing, maybe some heavy barbell curls. Just one bicep exercise. You haven't got to do 25 different sets of each different bicep exercise. Just one. Maybe you want to add in there some wrist work, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe some calf work. It's not essential at the early stages, and your grip's going to be getting some work from the deadlifting and gripping the bar. Your calf's going to get a bit of secondary work from supporting yourself with the squats. Although I would recommend maybe some standing calf raises. But yeah, so I'm digressing. But go back to the basics and just focus on putting 15 to 20 pounds of muscle over your whole frame. And if you can put on 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a month, you're going to get your goal just over a year. And and that really is quick. I wish someone had told me that when I first started. So yeah, that's what I've got to say about the bicep thing.